Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
So let me ask you a question. When was the last time you started something and you thought it all the way through, knew exactly why you were doing it? Think of it like this. Maybe you said, hey, I want to have a son. I want to have a daughter. Hey, I want to go buy a house. Hey, I want to buy a car. Hey, I want this kind of job. I want to be successful. What is at the heart of everything that we have to do in life, especially if we want to be successful? It's one word: why. WHY. Why is the thing that we have to use. But here's the thing. Most of us start things and we don't actually go through why we are doing it, why we want it, and why is the reason why we bump our heads against the wall and we hurt ourselves. So today on the podcast, look, we're going to look at why we should never start anything until we actually ask ourselves why. And then by the end of the broadcast, we're going to see how starting with why is going to help us to be able to do so much for our families. All right, guys. So I appreciate you for joining me today. And, there's a book written on this, probably many books, but I know of one that I actually have written by Simon Sinek. And the book is called Start with Why. And basically, it's exactly what it's saying. This is what leaders do. Leaders know exactly why they're doing something, and they're able to articulate it in such a way that everybody is inspired. I have miserably failed at this because, look, to get people inspired is to help them to see exactly, well, what is Jay talking about? I said, man, I've done a terrible job inspiring people as to why I even do this. People might, like, I'm getting more subscribers and more people on my YouTube channel. But I said to myself, I'm doing something wrong. I have not shared why this is important to them. Not to me, because at the end of the day, who cares? No one cares what I want. When I go to YouTube and watch a video for an hour, I don't care what the person who did the video wants. All I care is, hey, they're saying something that I want to hear, and I will spend time. Do you know, whenever we give our time to something, we're actually paying money? Yeah, time is not money. Time is more valuable than money. So think about it like that. If time is more valuable than money, and I go and spend, when I'm not doing anything, I could be watching YouTube videos, but I'm watching, like, not really motivation, but I'm watching things on the topics that I want to hear about. So they're inspiring. They have some motivation in them. They're just things that I want to know. And so it's kind of like reading books. Sometimes to read the book is one way of reading it. To listen to the book is one thing. To watch someone talk about the book is another way. So I use YouTube for the watching aspect. But a lot of times when I'm at the gym and I'm listening to YouTube, I don't actually get to see anything. So it's almost like listening to a book. So when we think about, why we do something, why I would actually use my time for something, time is a limited quantity. It's limited because, one, we don't know how much we have. So that's the first thing. We don't know how much time we have. So if we don't know how much time we have, then I can't afford to waste any time, but we still do it. When I think about the time that I've spent on cat videos, like cat videos, like how many videos have you watched that may not necessarily be adding to your life, adding to your growth? Or how many things have you done that's not adding to your growth? It's just stuff that's kind of entertaining you. So when I think about, what it costs and the fact that time is limited, why don't I start with why on everything? Yeah, I remember way back when, man, it'd be 21 years. Our son Jared is turning 21 at the end of next month. And we didn't really plan for it. It just kind of happened. And so when I think about it, I said, man, we didn't plan for it. We knew we were going to have kids, but we wasn't like, hey, let's have some kids right now. No, we didn't do that. It was more so, it just so kind of happened that way. And then, we took the news. Luckily we're married, so we ain't got to think about anything else except that, wow, this is great. We got a kid coming. Yeah, there's a level of planning. We know we need a crib. We know we need a room. We know we need to paint. We know we need to get all the stuff. We're going to have a baby shower. I would almost say, that when it comes to the planning aspect, I think we planned everything up until we had the baby. Everything was planned up until like all the activities. And then once we had Jared, we just kind of winged it. I think we winged it. You know, I don't know that I personally spent any time really studying child development. I didn't spend any time studying being a parent. For that matter, I didn't study anything being a husband. So think about all the things that we do in life, and we never actually look at why we're doing it and and what the payoff is going to be for us, or what the payoff is going to be for the people who are affected by the decisions that we make. So when I think of my kids, Jared and Jacob, we didn't really plan. We just kind of took the days as they come. Luckily, you get a pass because you do the best you can while you're doing it. But there's a proverb. There's a proverb that says, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Huh. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. That's one of my favorite ones. That's Proverbs 13:22. But the sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous. So a good man should be setting aside, should be accumulating, not for himself. So when I think about the money that, man, I want to make a lot of money, or I want to have money, I want to have assets, I want to be flexible, I want to be able to do what I want. But here's the thing: why are you doing it? Why? So think about all the things that you haven't done. I'm gonna tell you, there's some things that I have not done that I say to myself, why am I not done? Man, I'm not motivated, or I don't have a big enough why. My why is too small. Because look, at the end of the day, you can talk to any person that's very successful that said, man, well, you can make money, but that can't be the reason why you do it. So I know I made that mistake already. I've already tried to do that, and I know it doesn't work. So you do have to have the foundation of a why. What is why? In my learning of discovering why, and I have to do it even more today, because when problems come, you have to really be able to look back and say, well, why am I doing this? In discovering why, is to really find what's going to really motivate you every single day, what's going to inspire you every single day. So I remember when I did this exercise in the book, it was called Millionaire Success Secrets, written by Dean Graziosi. I think he wrote them maybe like 2017, 16, 17. And I read the book because it said millionaire. I want to be that. Okay, that's what I want. And just so happened, it might have been almost 300 pages I had to read. But I was reading it because it said Millionaire Success Secrets. Most people don't know these things. And one of the biggest takeaway I got out of the book was the 7 levels of why. If you ask me anything else about that book, I don't know, but this is the one thing I remember about the book. Because when I got here, this is where it got hard. See, because guys, we start things all the time. We start, hey, it's at the airing of this, it's February something. I think it might be, it's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, honey. On the airing of it's Valentine's Day. So it's Valentine's Day, 2024. And all the things that people said they were going to do January 1st, are they still doing them? Are they still doing them? And what are the things that people say they're going to do on January 1st? I know there's at least one thing I said that I'm not doing that I need to really, I got to fix that. But people mostly say, hey, I'm going to lose some weight. That's the biggest one. Or start a business. I don't know that, I think a lot of people do say that at the beginning of the year, but I know losing weight, I know that's on the top of the list. How many people are still working on it? How many people have already fallen off? Most. I already know I have a push-up challenge going on, which it was kind of impromptu, because I was doing it myself and I added people into it. Hey, if you want to do some push-ups, do them. Do 10, do 5, do 50, do it every day. See what happens to yourself. I said, I'm going to do 500, doing these push-ups every single day. What does that mean? It just meant that when I started doing the push-ups, the reason I was doing it was simple for me. I needed more discipline. I needed to discipline myself with something really hard. And here's what I knew. 500 push-ups a day is very hard. It's not easy. I can break it down so that it becomes easy, but it's hard. Like last night, I'm doing push-ups. It's 11 o'clock because I hadn't finished. But I said, ain't no 11:59 coming, and I don't have my push-ups done. So I already know that even if I had no push-ups done, and I had 1 hour to do them, I'd do them. I could do them because I learned how to. I said, man, all I got to do is if I do, what is it? To do them in an hour, like if I do 15 every minute, 15 push-ups every minute, I'll be done in like what? 40 minutes, less than 40 minutes. I'll be done, finished. It's crazy, right? That's not even that much time. And it would hurt, but it would be good. What can we do, or what is it that we can do that can make us more disciplined? Look, I need to be more disciplined in my work, which hence I'm using the push-ups to help me to discover this other one thing I can do over in my business. I can do over and over just like a maniac. So we don't want to start anything without understanding why we're doing it. So I knew that the push-up challenge or the 500 push-ups a day would help me to become more disciplined. That was the biggest reason, because I want to inspire myself. See, a lot of times I can go to YouTube and I can find motivational videos, but it's nothing like being inspired by yourself. Like I'm inspired by me. I'm like, wow, I'm still doing it. I'm almost 45 days in and I'm still doing it. I haven't missed a day. Wow, this is good. God willing. Like if I get hurt, then that would stop it. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have wrists that are not hurting or that are not in any pain. I'm blessed that my elbows, aren't hurting because, hey, at the beginning they were. I'm blessed that, my shoulders is not hurting as much. I'm blessed that my chest is not hurting as much. I'm blessed that my biceps aren't hurting as much. My forearms. All of these are the areas that actually have hurt doing this. But you know what? Because of why I'm doing it is the reason why I can keep doing it. And then lastly, because I can talk about my health consistency way better than I can talk about anything. Oh, I can talk about this because I've been doing a podcast just about every day since 2022. But what I can say is that when you become consistent, when you do something over and over, what happens is there's a level of boredom that'll show up. I'm just warning you. A level of boredom will come, and you got to know that it's going to happen at some point. It's kind of like with my podcast. Days I'm just tired. I don't want to do it. I'm like, no more podcast. Oh my goodness. But then I know I said, just take some time. Like, take some time, read the Bible. Literally read the Bible, and the Bible will give you some content. If you don't have any content, read the Bible. Okay. And once I discovered that, wow, yeah, I can read the Bible. I can read a book. I'll audit my life. Hey, what did I mess up on? Usually, what did I mess up on? because look, at the end of the day, you want to account for your life by avoiding the stuff that I'm going to talk about. So avoid starting something without knowing why. I've done plenty of things. There's something right now in business that we didn't start with why. And there's a hiccup. So we gotta revisit. And that's why I'm actually talking about this today, because as I was preparing to do this, I'm thinking about business. I'm thinking about challenges and situations that we're in. Oh, that's why. That's the reason. Oh, you didn't start with the why. You didn't start knowing, oh, there's going to be some obstacles. Oh, every decision you make, every decision you make in your business, if it's not a good decision, there will be consequences. Everything, there's a consequence anytime you do something you should not do. Now, sometimes they hurt really bad. Sometimes they don't hurt as bad. But it's nothing like something hurting bad. It's nothing like when you make a decision and you thought it was a good decision and you later find out it wasn't. But I can take it all the way back to why. Because if we audit everything through the why, it's almost, I'm not saying it's impossible to make a bad decision, but it's really hard to make a bad decision when you audit stuff in your why. Because when you audit stuff in your why, and then when you look at the thing you're going to do, you could find out if you're going to compromise your why at all. So back to the 7 levels, and then I'm going to let you out of here. If you've never read the book, Millionaire Success Secrets, I'm just going to give you this one tip that I got from the book, which is the 7 levels of why. Why do you want to do it? That's the first level. Why do you want to do it? You write that down. Then from here, to get the way Dean does it, is that if you get to 7, once you get to 7 levels in, 7 questions in, 7 whys in, you should be crying. So if your why doesn't cry, it's not a why. So once you say, well, this is why I'm going to do it, then you ask yourself, why is that important to you? And then you come back again. Why is that important to you? And then you come back and you come back and you come back to by 7. You should really it should really be a serious emotional experience happening. That was my moment. I remember we had gone through like major challenges financially, gone through bankruptcy, the not chapter 7, but 13, just kind of get things kind of squared away. And, back in 2008, 2009, and it was painful. And when I got down to the crux of why I really wanted to be successful, it was so that, my kids, they wouldn't have to ever experience anything that hardship, those problems, those challenges. And I remember like just bawling out. It's changed today. It's not the same. Even though when I read the scriptures, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, that's when that spark came. That, wow, in order to leave an inheritance for my children's children, I'm going to have a really good why. That's going to drive me beyond my circumstances. It's going to drive me beyond my needs. It's going to drive me beyond the things that I can touch, the things that I can do. It's going to drive me. Because if it drives me, and it drives me far enough, then I should be able to leave an inheritance to my children's children, so that the children's 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 children would know who started it all. When they think of grandpa, great grandpa, great 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 grandpa, great 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 grandpa, when they think of him and what he had to go through, the times that he had to live, when they think of him and they say, when they look at my picture on the wall, when they watch some of my older videos, when they listen to the wisdom that I left for them, they say, wow, we're thankful for Grandpa. We're thankful that he started with why, and he allowed his why to drive him, because our lives has changed because of what he did. So when we start something from this day forward, don't start anything until you have defined what the reason is, why you're doing it. Take it 7 levels deep. Get to the point where you are emotional, you are crying, you are in that state of knowing that when the time gets hard, I'll remember why I'm doing it. Never start anything until you ask why. Guys, I hope you got value from today's podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to follow. Be sure to like. Be sure to let us know if there's anything that we missed or anything that you would love for us to talk about on the podcast. God bless you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.